For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast. With over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 6+ years in the games media combined, I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations, please check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, all of our links are below me right now.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures where you can watch us record the show live. Get in the chat and become part of the show. Because as this week we're doing some cool interactive things, we'd love to have people involved on the weekly. We'll make it interactive all the time. But if you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you're on those podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are on the YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Haven't done it in like 3 weeks. Bam. Aside from you having a minor freak. I'm
stopping. Hang on. There's more to this.
Yeah.
I just forget how to speak after 2 weeks.
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2021. Thankfully, here in Australia, it's not been such a hot mess, but we ain't going to talk about that. How have you... Oh, as you grab a drink, fuck's sake. How are you, Max?
It's bloody hot in this room.
It is hot as balls in here.
How have I been? Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
The 2 weeks break has been nice. Obviously, I had mandatory... I had a week break over Christmas, which was lovely. Yep. So, got to play my backlog a little bit. Got to wrap up some stuff that I should have already finished. Got to the end of some stuff that I've been banging my head against the wall trying to finish.
Yeah.
But, it's been good. It's a good break. What about yourself?
It's been an absolutely fantastic break. I have loved every single second of it. So, I've been off since, the 20th or something.
Yeah.
And then I go back next week, which is so on the 11th, or this week, the day the show goes live. So from then to now, and it has been brilliant. Like for the first, so once Christmas hit, I jumped off the diet. I kept it reasonable, but I also fucking didn't. I just went absolute crazy. I really enjoyed Christmas dinner, and then I kind of behaved myself, and then I had the Bets and Banquet, which is our Christmas thing we do, and I went fucking hard again, and then I'm sort of back in the swing for last week, but it's been awesome. So I gained 3-ish kilos back over the break, which is a lot, but mostly was water because I ate a lot of carbs again, which I haven't done in the longest times, and oh man, it's going to be tough to quit them carbs properly. Let me tell you. I'm back on it now, as I said, for the last couple of days. It's properly hard. And I'm like, just breads. All the grains. And I'm surviving. And speaking of, there's that fat guy in the chat, one of my fellow man-ambassadors for the man shake. So yeah, that's that in terms of that side. Cool. So I've pretty much lost all of the weight that I gained back because I kind of knew, knowing that a lot of it was water weight. I kind of just went hard last week and up into this week, and it's nicely brought it back down. It's still a little bit there, but it's not it's not as low as it was before, but it's pretty much gone. And then if I go back into the swing of it, I think I'll be able to push through and then see what happens after that. Because, we'll touch upon this. Do you have any resolutions for this year?
No, so resolutions are kind of, you start.
I use the term resolution, but any goals for this year?
Well, my partner and I are starting the shakes next week. We're gonna hit it hard. It's gonna be a lot easier for me this time around because I'm a little bit healthier to begin with because I got really sick last time. But also having my partner do it with me to help keep me honest is gonna be super helpful. And my kid's getting to that age where she's just about to start walking, so I'm running around after her all the time. It'll be all that stuff.
Yeah.
But apart from that, we bought a house. Well, we're buying a house this year, so hopefully all that goes smoothly and well this year. So nice change of scenery. Yeah. New house, new life, new me. New year. all that stuff.
Go with it.
I guess, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm like. What? Because so you, as I said, you're back on the shakes as well, which is cool. So you gave it a little bit of go before. It didn't really work, but you're on it now. So what I'm hoping to do for everyone that is watching, because like Dave in the chat as well mentioned that he started the year at 95 and now he's at 107. In terms of his weight. So that's cool. What I'm hoping to do here is I'm hoping to talk to my correspondent at the Man Shake, and I want to see if I can organize something, whether it be just a promo code, save yourself like 10% off or something. And, and that way for anyone that does want to join us throughout this year, you 100% can. And you can save a little bit of coin doing it as well. Like granted, it's already like reasonably priced, but if I can incentivize you a little bit more and we can all do it together. Because I'm not done, even though I've lost like 30 kilos. I'm still going to push a bit further. I've got at least another 10 kilos to drop is my plan, 10, 12 kilos, which will get me to the 100. And then I don't know what I'm going to do then, but the shakes ain't going anywhere. And yes, if you guys want to do it along with us, that would be awesome. We would love to share that with you and love to help you and be that support network for you guys would be awesome. But you've got a lot of new things coming this year. New house.
This is going to be crazy.
Yeah, man. It's pretty cool because in terms of like resolutions, my resolutions aren't like I don't have resolutions per se.
Yeah,
mine is just to continue. It's not just to continue on my weight loss journey because I've got a goal that I want to hit.
Yeah,
and two, I'm racing currently that fat guy. Like with the aim is to race to 100. But he is destroying me because he's already lost like 50 kilos. He's way ahead of me. But so my plan is to do that. So if I can get to close to 100, I'm thinking I've been tossing up going to the gym as well, getting a little bit like not like toning up because I'm a fucking flabby mess right now, and like so I'm hoping that would be an idea, but not like get big, just kind of reduce some of the fats a bit extra. And then my big goal is by the end of this year, I want to do at least one lesson with the Melbourne City Wrestling Academy.
Okay.
I want to go there, give it a go, so if I can take a bump, and then that's it. Maybe I don't want to be a professional wrestler, but
I mean, to be fair, we found out last year that you cannot take a bump. You lost a fight to a bird.
I did. Well, maybe that's my motivation. My motivation is to get to that point so I can go to I can go and fight that plover come springtime next year. And look, for Christmas, I got myself this big wrestling belt. I need to earn this wrestling belt. I just can't be that guy that has a belt and can't,
I mean, you should go find the plover and give him the belt.
I'm sorry, plover. You are the champion. Here you go. Fuck, I'm already sweaty as shit in this room. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, we passed the belt to the bird. So congratulations, bird. Ryan put the magpie over. I did, says Buddy. So I did. I jobbed out to the plover.
Yeah.
Just so that way I can have a good, hero story is my plan.
A good hero redemption arc.
But yeah, that's my goal for this year. Other than that, I'm just going to go with the flow and see where it takes me. In terms last year, I completed more games than I did the year before, and I got a stack of plats as well, which is even better. So let's talk about what we've been playing because it's been about 3 weeks since we were last at the show. I have stacked up 3 credits and a platinum. Wait, maybe 4 credits and a platinum. I think it's 3 credits and a platinum. I rolled credits on Bugsnax.
I also rolled credits on Bugsnax.
And I platinum Bugsnax.
I'm not platinuming Bugsnax.
As I said, I think I talked about it at the back end of last year as well. I think I when I did the I forget what pod it was on. It was on a podcast, maybe in this one, where I had to relinquish my my stance on Bugsnax because it is good. It's really good.
It is kind of good.
It's so good. It's charming. It's this darker thing underneath it. Not as dark as I was hoping, but it was great.
Yeah.
And I think we said it at the time, when I was pooping on the Bugsnax originally, I'm willing to change my opinion here. And I'm very happy to have my opinion changed.
Yeah, because the advertising around the game was this very happy-go-lucky, over-the-top.
And everyone was just jerking the song. And I was like,
yeah. But it was good. I really enjoyed my time with it. It was a pretty short experience. Granted, I didn't go for the platinum like you did.
Yeah.
It took me a while to work out some of the stuff. Up until the very end of the game, I didn't realize I could set that Strabby in the ball on fire.
Yeah.
which I needed to do for heaps of stuff.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that I could do that.
And it's one of those things you learn by accident. For me, a lot of it was learned by accident. When I was like, oh, what if I do this? Oh shit, it's on fire. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, like in one of the areas is a desert, and there's this like Dorito praying mantis that I blow up. And I'm like, how did I blow it up? Because my quest is now blow up 2 of them, but I don't know how I did it to begin with. Like, what did I do? And then I started shooting stuff. And like, something will happen.
Yeah, and it's something as simple as like they have these little scorpions that hang on walls that shoot fire at you. I'm like, how do I get near you? Because every time I put a trap near it, it just sets it on fire. And like, it was a bunch of trial and error to get it. And when I got it, it was like that. Like, so there was a lot of good, like, out-of-the-box thinking just in terms of, like, yeah. And on top of that, like, all the characters are charming as shit. Like, they all have their individual little things, and they're all cool, and they're all, like, great. And then we have the big twist at the end, and everyone kind of, like, has to rethink themselves a little bit, which is even fun. And there's really cool relationships between them. Like, there's, you know, at least 2 same-sex couples, which is cool. And there's one guy that just wants to bang all the Bugsnax. You know, and there's someone that wants to bang him in order to eat his Bugsnax. Like it's so mad, and there's a repaired broken relationship. There's a lot in there, man, and it's I wouldn't have thought it'd be one of the most progressive games I've played this year, like 2020, like at all.
Yeah,
but it was very, very cool. And I talk on mental health as well, especially with Eggabell, which I thought was fantastic. Because I really dug that, because it was all about her wanting to improve, but improve for somebody else, and then sort of learn that she needs to improve for herself, and it was fantastic. So yeah, what else? So I roll credits on Immortals Fenyx Rising as well, which you are trying to.
I'm so close. I think I'm so close.
Yeah.
That game's so good. I'm just currently getting my ass handed to me from a boss, so I need to go. I've gone back to pick up some side stuff to kind of level up a little bit.
Yeah, very nice. I was saying that. So Buddy in the chat also adds, Bugsnax was so fun, the characters were charming, and the light problem solving was awesome. Yeah, totally agree. But Dave asked, have you guys played finished Cyberpunk? We'll talk about that. And Delicate Stone's here too. Yeah, so Immortals is brilliant. Like, it was the one game that I focused on primarily over the break. I played a couple others, but it was the one that I spent the most direct time on. And, like, to a point that I worked out how to... I was like, I remote played it to my phone in my bed. So I played it in here. I'm like, oh, I need to go to bed. Went to bed and then remote played it on my phone. Because it was just addictive, and I loved exploring the world, and I loved like grabbing at all the things, and like, ooh, what's that in the distance? How do I get to that? And then next thing you know, I'm flying to find a treasure chest, and I'm destroying monsters and digging in all the lore and taking out, finding all the gods and doing all their side stuff.
I only just discovered last night that horses are the best way to get around the map.
Oh yeah, horses grok.
So I may or may not have use some of my Ubisoft points to buy the Adventure Time horse. Because it starts at level 3, so it's just got like 3 full stamina bars. I'm just like, I'm out.
That's mad.
That was so good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm
riding around on a rainbow unicorn. It's great.
I did barely use my horse. All mine are level 1. But it's brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Like, in very similar to Bugsnax, it is charming, or it is so fun. Like, there was genuine laugh out loud moments at multiple times, like hearing like Zeus and Prometheus like bitch about each other for a while was brilliant. And then when you start meeting each of the gods, there's 4 gods that you meet outside of Prometheus, Zeus, and Hermes. It's not spoilers because it's really early on. Yes, you see the 4 other gods, and they're all charming, and they're all like really deep. Like, I say deep in terms of their like they are like chewing scenery in the best way. They're like, these are the character traits, and they're gonna fucking run with it.
Well, see, I really like, because I'm nearing the end. It's nice to see the dynamic change between Zeus and Prometheus when Zeus realizes that all his kids hate him and that
he's a dick.
He's like a garbage dad.
Yeah,
and then Prometheus is like, oh, and then this happens. He's like, oh, please don't try and cheer me up. But it's working.
Oh yeah, because as we discussed in our original review, because by then we're both fairly like, you've only played like a little bit more.
Yeah,
like I've played like quite a substantial amount, but I've done a lot of just fucking around in the world. Yeah, and we talk about how like the world is changing because Prometheus is telling the story to Zeus, and it changes on the whim. And like when Zeus gets really sad, they start like he starts adding things, and then a pearl just rolls out of nowhere. He's like, "What are you doing?" A bunch of stuff like that, which is really, really fun. The game's great. Like it took. This is why I think I have a bias. Because a lot of it in here, like even down to the vaults, even down to the stamina system, it is just the Breath of the Wild. But I'm like, Breath of the Wild's balls. But I love this game. Yeah. Which I think the only reason, like, it, as you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, weapon degradation is shit. And if this game had it, it would suck. But it has all the good things that Breath of the Wild did, but with an enriching story in terms of, like, a lot of really good, like, verbal dialogue and stuff compared to just sort of the noises that fucking that game made. It's brilliant. So fucking good. So goddamn good. On top of that, I started Celeste as well.
Yep.
I picked that up because it was on sale, and Buddy has been talking about it for the better part of like 18 months, if not almost 2 years. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a go. It's cool. I am poo at it, but it is cool.
Well, I watched the Games Done Quick run of it this morning.
Oh, wow.
And someone did all the Seaside tapes with a Dance Revolution mat.
Fuck me.
Which just makes me just like, I wish I was good at that game.
Fuck, like I have gone to the 3rd level, and there is a door that needs a key, and the key is slightly out of the way on a ledge, and I am having such a shit time getting that key. I've done it once before, and fucked if because I did it, and then I closed the game. Obviously, I didn't save. I think it saves at the end of the level, the start of the level. So like it's like, oh, you have to do it again. I'm like, but I don't remember how I did it the first time. Fuck me. And I'm just like frustrated at this door.
Yeah.
But like I'm really enjoying it. And I love it in the way that I love it in the idea that like you don't have to get the strawberries. It's all about the journey.
Yeah.
You don't have like as long as you get through the level.
Incredible.
Yeah, like I'm picking up all these little feels like they're talking about like panic attacks, all these sort of things, and like, you know, like anxieties. I'm like, I'm fucking eating this.
Another game that interestingly tackles mental health.
Yeah, which I know one of the big reasons Buddy has given it so much love is I'm just like eating. I'm like, this is fucking good. We've got in the chat. So Uber Timmy, thanks Timmy Torrendry. Replaying Detroit was a highlight of his holidays. Yeah, he played Detroit with his partner.
Such a good game.
And the best thing about that game is it was a completely different ending to than like he played it. And then when I watched him stream it, I watched Jerd stream it as well, like other man shakers. They had completely different outcomes to what I had. Oh, that game's fucking amazing. Delicate Stone got a PlayStation Store voucher for Christmas. I reckon I might look into getting this game, which I presume might be Immortals. It could be Celeste.
Yeah, I think it was Celeste. I think it came in.
Yeah, Celeste is so good. Like, yeah, it is that like Super Meat Boy-esque platformer where it's a lot about like Twitch controls,
but it's one of those ones where, you know, if you die you're instantly back in the game. There's not this you can learn from your mistakes pretty quickly,
which is fantastic because even the game itself, it goes die as many times as you need. It means you're learning. I'm like, that's such a fucking good way to look at it. And like I said, I'm only like barely touched it, but it just has such a good vibe to it. It's very, very good. And I did also buy Jurassic World Evolution on the console. I had it on PC yonks back, and I refunded it because it didn't run on my computer. But on the console, it should run fine, right? In theory. So yeah, I haven't jumped into that yet, but I did get the Jurassic Park edition because dinosaurs are cool. And I've been watching the Camp Cretaceous with my son on Netflix. It's so good. And then Fuser was the other one as well. I had a bit of a gaming break. It's been awesome. So Fuser is the latest game from Harmonix, the guys that did Rock Band, and it's all about being a DJ. It's about splicing music together. So there's no physical interface like Rock Band had or like DJ Hero had, but it's all about learning to splice music together, like on the beat, you know, on the downbeat, like you know, and how songs musically work together.
Yeah.
Now I screen shared it with you when we first got it.
Yeah.
And I was shit.
Yeah.
I'm slightly better now, but that first level just gets you to match them.
Yeah.
And then it teaches you about timing and beats and like beat structure and you know how it all works, and you know, as in the loop, the good loop, you know, like hitting, because it's separated by like drums, bass, lead, and vocal. So it's like, well, the vocal loop, the chorus hits here, but the guitar beat hits a little bit later. So if you want to sync it as a vocal, then you put it in it, and then you really start to get that punch. And it's a pretty good array of tracks at the start as well. Like some that stand out for me is like The Weeknd's in there, with like Blinding Lights, and Sia's in there. I like Sia musically. Rick Astley's in there. We're Never Gonna Give You Up, and a bunch of other cool things. So there's a bunch of DLC as well. Nowhere near as much as Rock Band, but like they are dropping some on the regular. So like my collection of tunes is going pretty well. And it's a lot of fun. Like I find myself sitting here just like jamming out to myself and starting to feel the rhythm. And the only downside is because I'm doing the campaign and it's wanting me to do specific things in order to achieve the campaign goals. I feel that is blocking a lot of the momentum that I'm trying to build.
Okay.
I say that because I'm like, I have an idea of what I would do with this set, or what I would do with these songs, which could be complete opposite of what is good. But I'm like, okay, well, let's do that and let's try that. And then it's like, yeah, but can you like splice in this song from the early 2000s? I'm like, well, yeah, it's my genre, but yeah, like I wouldn't do it now. I'd do it in a couple of beats time. But because it's all time measured, it's like you need to do it in the next like X amount of like 16 beats.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, you flunk the goal. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't. I could drop it in, but it's not going to hit the fucking sync time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, it's a pretty good game otherwise. I'm a sucker for rhythm games. Man, my legs are so sweaty. There's literal film of sweat on my legs. It's so hot in here.
Nice. As I mentioned, I got credits on Bugsnax. It was the first game I finished this year. I played a bunch more Cyberpunk.
And I got Ben 10 credits through with my son.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I played a bunch more Cyberpunk 2077 until my save file corrupted on PlayStation 5, so I uninstalled it and jumped across to PC, which my save file corrupted again because I got that lovely save file was too big bug.
Oh, no.
Because I went crafting mad and forgot to sell all my stuff before I quit. So I haven't played that since. I got pretty far in. I've put about 40 hours across the two versions.
Nice.
Two versions. I got credits. I use the term credits fairly loosely on Hades.
Yeah.
I've got like 7 completed runs now. That game is absolutely incredible and was very much deserving of it.
Yeah, do you like? Because like I know a number of places that have put it as either like game of the year.
Very much deserving to be in that game of the year conversation. It was absolutely fantastic. That's that roguelike isometric shooter. So fun, so much fun.
I'm waiting for it to come to PS5 or PS4.
Yeah, I'd love it to come across. What else have I been playing? Obviously, Immortals Fenyx Rising. I think I'm very close to the end. I'm on the very last mission of Devil May Cry for Virgil's story. So I have, in the past, completed the 3 characters that came with the standard edition of the game. Mm-hmm. But thanks to Capcom and Turn Left, we got copies. We got to play the definitive edition, which came with the Virgil story. Definitely do not play the Virgil story first, because you just play through every single mission in linear order with Virgil, but it skips all the cutscenes of the story because they're character-specific missions. So they kind of just don't give you the backstory. So don't play Virgil first. Leave it to the end. There you go. His combat is super fun, very varied. He uses similar weapons to that of the main protagonist, Dante. The game's just so fast paced. The music is so on point for the genre of game that it is. The music ramps up as your combos get higher and higher. It's very similar to that of like Doom, where the music kind of puts you in the mood.
So one thing I noticed when I booted the game up, it has that real like butt rock sound, which for me is perfect because I love that. Like a big thing I learned last year is I'm like, there's certain genres of music that I just fucking love. And like that real kind of like radio rock is in there because it's like real prevalent in the early 2000s. Yeah. And like, obviously I talked about it 1,000 times. Like I've really fallen in love with Machine Gun Kelly and his like punk rock revival album. So like there are certain genres I'm like, oh. And like, yeah, like DMC, even just the menu music, I'm like, oh.
I dove back into Persona 5 Royal because I picked that up on during the January sale. That's pretty much it.
I've had a pretty intense game.
I've just been cycling through it all, and I'm so close to finishing 2 of them. But yeah, I'm just banging my head against the wall. I might succumb and turn auto combo mode on for Devil May Cry.
Oh, but what? Aren't you playing on like super hard?
No, I'm playing just below.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I mentioned it when I first started playing this game. This is one of the games that runs at 120 frames if you've got the hardware to pull it. But when you're playing on the highest difficulty, they automatically turn off HDR and 120 because the game struggles to keep up because it's so fast paced to begin with.
And then when you're in hard difficulty, it's throwing more enemies in. It's a lot on screen.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the game looks absolutely stunning.
Nice.
And I really wish I could play at 120 frames, but I don't have a monitor that's good enough.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure my TV, remember when I bought it, it's like, it has 240 hertz, whatever. I'm like, all right. But I've not,
and it's like, but I have HDMI and you need to use the display port to pull 200 hertz.
I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. But yeah, because it's only lived in here. But yeah, either way. Man, we've had a good break.
A great break.
Good break playing the games, chilling out, relaxing. Oh. Like, it's cool. I actually feel like genuinely refreshed. Like, even though I still played games like it was games without pressure.
Yeah.
And not like, even the pressure that we put on ourselves here is self-imposed. Like, as that sentence says, it is like, it's pressure we put on ourselves. Like, we do our best to cover games and as soon as quick as we can, or, you know, around that, or in that sort of release-ish window. And it was nice to just not think about it.
Yeah, after the intense few weeks after obviously the launch of the PS5, and there was so many titles to go hands on with. It was
yeah, it's just good. Now I'm just chilling, just enjoying.
Actually, I can't remember. Did I finish Godfall over the Christmas?
Oh yeah, you did
break?
too. Yeah,
I got credits on Godfall as well. Great game.
Really?
Overpriced. I wouldn't recommend it at the $140 price tag that it's sitting at.
Ooh.
I managed to pick it up for $50.
That is a substantial difference.
Because it was on sale. And I'm like, okay, this is where I dive in.
That is so different.
It's super worth $50. Game looks absolutely gorgeous. There's a few design choices that I'm not a fan of. The point-to-point teleporting. There's no free jumping. Like, if there's ever a gap in the map, you have to point-to-point teleport across the gap.
It's like the worst thing that VR... Like, we'll bring some VR things across, and the worst thing that VR has.
There's no free jumping. The combat's fine. But like, it is a stunning looking game. The end game, not so great.
Is that where it falls short?
Most of the live service games, when devs are new to them, they tend to miss on the end. It's just once you get to the end game, it's just that grind loop, and you're playing the same mission over and over and over and over again until you get that one piece of gear you want, and then you can move on to the next step.
Gross.
Yep.
Absolutely gross.
So the for example, you're literally sitting in an elevator shaft, and the elevator goes up, and you've got to kill enemies on 100 floors.
Nice. Didn't you play some Destiny 2 as well?
I've been hardcore into Destiny 2. Yeah. I'm light level 1220-ish. I think 1250 is the cap at the moment. Yeah. So I'm slowly getting there. I've hit it. I've reached an impasse at the moment. There's this mission I have to do to complete this legendary quest for an exotic piece of gear, and I just cannot do it. And I can't find anyone to do it. I don't want to play with randoms to get it, so I'm kind of just taking a break for a bit. Because I put like 50 hours into it in a week. I went ham. I managed to convince a couple of friends to buy it, and we hit it hard. So I've finished the campaign on 3 different characters now.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, let's get into the section we call Informed Players. We tell you about what happened this week. Now, because we use a Word document on the screen on the big TV in front of me, it projects a bunch of white light. And because we're sweaty in here, it's an extra level of sheen. So we will probably seem very reflective right now, which is fun. There's so much dampness in my leg.
Got pants on, it's worse.
Yeah, why the hell do we wear fucking pants in here?
Sony's Game of the Year streak has continued. So according to a popular blog called Game of the Year Picks, they collate all the awards winners from across the globe. Sony has had most votes for the number one contender 3 years running. The criteria for the website is that it only acknowledges professional publications with multiple editors.
Oh.
It also dismisses single format websites, the likes of Push Square and Nintendo Life, because they only cover us.
Yeah, fair.
However, according to the page, The Last of Us Part 2 picked up a total 134 Game of the Year awards in 2020, comfortably beating its closest competitor Hades with 36. Ghost of Tsushima finished in third place with 20 total wins to its name. But this is the third year in a row that Sony published exclusive has been awarded most Game of the Year awards, following Death Stranding last year and God of War the previous year.
It has been an awesome 3-year run.
Yeah.
See, but I technically gave Last of Us my Game of the Year, but I was a bit fucking depressed at that time. So I was like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But because I just gave it the win because I guess technically it was probably the best.
Yeah.
What was yours?
I think I did the same thing.
Oh, there we
Actually,
go.
no. I think I said Persona 5 Royal.
You did say Persona 5 Royal, you big nerd.
But probably Last of Us is...
Like, it's totally understandable and like even... Oh, yeah, because this is something that came over the break. Like, after 6 months of a global pandemic, my Ali statue arrived. Yeah. It's pretty very fucking sick. Quite like it, actually. It's almost a little bit better than the big one. But yeah, so I understand that a lot of people probably loved it and enjoyed it, and very clearly. What do you think it is? Like, granted, we are doing a PlayStation show, so we wouldn't have been counted in this list anyway, and because we're fucking nobodies. But what do you think it is that Sony does in order to get these essentially 3 big Game of the Years in a row? Or what do they do different, apart from just releasing them on like Xbox?
I guess that's obviously, a big plus is they release games. But, they put the care and effort into them, and once they find an IP, like, because none of these are new, apart from Death Stranding, obviously, they're not new IPs, like they're known quantities. Death Stranding obviously had the known quantity of this is a Kojima game, and it already had hype well before it even started. But then obviously, that doesn't count for everything, because look at Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk had all the hype in the world, and it really did let everyone down.
Yeah.
I mean, it cost me the win
last year. It did. It really did.
But, Sony have always stuck to a very similar design in their games. They're all very much single-player, narrative, story-driven games. Yeah. And the stories are what win it for them, realistically.
Yeah.
Because, no one voted Death Stranding for its gameplay. It's the story that the game told and how you interact with the story that really sells you.
And I think one of the big reasons that Sony has the success that it does is because it makes adult games for adults, and it takes gaming seriously. And, in terms of you look at God of War, it's a story about being a father, and it's this story about your own anxieties and your fear of your history and it being passed down. You look at Death Stranding, and it's more parent issues and really adult stories. Yeah. If you look at having BB and Mama and even the thing with Die Hardman and all these these real adult problem oriented stories. And then Last of Us, the same thing. It's it's a revenge story. It's a story about hate and what that does to you, and these aren't things that that affect the younger demographic. When the average age of the gamer is 33 or something from a couple years ago, telling these adult stories is where it's at, and they just happen to be made really well, and they happen to tell those stories really well. And if you look at The Last of Us, it's fucking beautiful. Yeah, in a gross way, but it is a incredibly stunning game. And Buddy goes, it's the little things. It's all adds up being able to make people feel something. And I think that's what it is. It's about making you feel. And it's about games being more than what people expect of them. Yeah. Because if you look at granted, Xbox have tried this, Microsoft have tried this, sorry, but it's just not quite there. They've had a really tough luck in the last couple of years with exclusives. Saying that though, their future looks so good.
Yeah, they've got so many studios.
It looks like I am actually really excited to see what Microsoft bring, because it's gonna kick everyone in a gear. Yeah, and then there's Nintendo as well. Their more child focused works from a sales perspective. Animal Crossing has sold more than any PlayStation exclusive fucking ever, but I think that is also a hindrance. I think there is a ceiling with those kind of games, or that sort of style of game. Yeah. I would never put a Nintendo game in the best game of the year, just because for me they feel shallower. They might be a third party game.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But as a Nintendo first party title, I would deem them shallower.
Less than.
Yeah. Which it's kind of dickish of me. But if Microsoft had bring out something cool in the coming years, and it's like the same level of like dark. It's adult and it's deep and it's real narrative driven. I'm fucking gonna play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Ori. I've played Ori because Ori's fucking awesome.
Ori's fantastic.
And it's like, it tells this really cool story in a very cool way. But so that brings up to the next piece of news, Max, which is PlayStation tells these awesome stories about really cool characters, and apparently Sony Pictures has plans. They have plans for upwards of 10 projects. So they say currently there are 10 projects in production based on the company's video game intellectual property, according to CEO of Sony Pictures Tony Vinciquerra. Speaking to CNBC, 3 of these upcoming conversations will be movies, while a further 7 will be TV series. He said, quote, "We have a program within the company called One Sony. You'll be seeing a lot more integration of Sony companies together," end quote. Exactly what franchises these announced projects will be are based, what these will be based on remain to be seen.
So obviously we know Spider-Man. We know Last of Us HBO series.
Yep.
Uncharted.
Cool. So
Kojima's getting out of games. It's going to be a movie.
It leaves open so much. Now, when they say TV series, probably got super Australian there for a second. When they
we're going to get a Bugsnax kids show.
Yeah, we could get like animated. We could get a kids show. We could get like, they tried with Ratchet and Clank a couple years ago in a film. We could get like straight to fucking streaming services stuff. It doesn't have to be big shit. Like, the question would be, Max, what do you see them being?
So they're going to redo Vikings as God of War. Going to have like a 7-series epic tale of...
See, like...
I kid, but that'd be pretty
fucking
good.
Awesome.
That'd be pretty good.
What else do you see?
I'd like to see a Twisted Metal show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Apparently it's in the works.
Take on Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
They can go to space too. I'm coming up. I would love to see Death Stranding as like a mini series.
I think
the game itself is already a mini.
Yeah, the weirdness. Like, the show is already very cinematic in itself. I don't see it. Then whatever they bring, if they bring it to TV, it's not going to change a whole lot.
I wonder if they'll start doing the games like the Dark Pictures anthology style, where they just.
But they're not Sony IP though.
Oh, that's true.
So here in mind, I'm thinking. Obviously, Twisted Metal, apparently that's already in the works. That's cool. God of War would be awesome as a series because I think there's a lot you can tell there, and really good character drama. There are movies that do it, but TV does it better.
Yeah,
because you can really dive into characters. So I think God of War would be a great TV series if they ever do it. Siphon Filter would be a great espionage movie.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't see them ever doing like Days Gone because like I think the zombie thing on TV is kind of like overstayed its welcome.
Yeah.
Patapon, kids show. No, let's put that one out of my ass. I don't know on that one. Killzone would be very, very cool. Like Ape Escape could be a fun kids show. There's a lot of cool ideas if you think about it, but it's all about. You have to take what the premise of the game is, not the game itself. Like, because if you're like, oh, this whole story will translate great, but like, yes, but you lose a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering, The Last of Us will be a good, I think will be a good TV series. However, I do wonder whether a lot of it will be lost because there's no gameplay.
It depends on what
quote unquote gameplay, because the story itself gets
what story they're telling. It depends on if they go completely away and dive into what the world is as opposed to what the characters we already know.
Yeah. Pretty way to look at it.
Yeah.
Because even God of War as well, like because it's so story driven, I think that would be fine in a TV, which would be cool. So in the chat, because as we said, we do the show live every week on Twitch. The Reverend Puck jumps and gets Sly Cooper. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. I'd like that. And then of course, Buddy jumps in with "Gimme That Resistance" series. Now, Resistance would be a great series. Trying to think, like I'm racking my brain. I'm going to think about Cooler World. That'd be cool. Remember that Cooler World on PlayStation 1? I don't know. Soul Reaver. I think that was first party. So that's the other, like, if you start going back in, because I have a feeling
Like a
that
Crash animated show.
yeah, it's they're not owned by them anymore. You know, like
True.
you look at it, like you look at what's recently come out.
Yeah.
You know, oh, that's cool, but like they may have to reach back.
Oh yeah.
And then even then, like, because from recollection, it's so muddy about what was first and second party Sony IP back then. Like, it's hard, like off the top of your head. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's certainly doable. Like, I don't think Killzone. Killzone would be great. I don't see it happening. Yeah. You know why?
Because Killzone's no. Killzone.com. Guerrilla Games has shut down Killzone.com. It now redirects straight to PlayStation.com with a message from the team. Quote, the official website for the Killzone franchise has retired. Going forward, visitors to Killzone.com will be directed to PlayStation.com. The note goes on to explain that while multiplayer modes, player statistics, and ranking data for Killzone Shadowfall and Killzone Mercenary will remain, you will no longer be able to create or manage clans for the titles. The PlayStation 4 title loses that capability as the website has been pulled. Guerrilla Games then signs off, thanking the fans who visited the page. Quote, thank you to Killzone.com's many fans and visitors throughout the years for their enthusiasm and support. Oof. Do you think this means that there's going to be no more Killzones because they're getting rid of their website?
It certainly looks that way.
Or do you think there's something coming and they're shutting their website down to make changes?
Yeah, so a couple of things. It could look that way because, like, they've removed the website, but they haven't removed the website. They still own the domain.
Yeah,
so they've just redirected it. So either A, they're working on something in the background and they don't want people to randomly come across it. Mm-hmm. So the domain's there, but they've pulled all the back end, because you know how people like pull into the back end of a website and pull out a bunch of info. They're either doing that or it's fucking dead. I'm pretty confident that it's been rejiggered.
Yeah,
they're going to redo it.
My guess is they're doing something behind the scenes.
Yeah, because like there has been a lot of whispers of a Killzone game in the back somewhere, possibly, but I don't see it dying. It's too big of a franchise to die. And
Sony really needs shooters.
They really need shooters like so bad. Like, it's the one thing they're missing. Where, like, you know, they had Resistance die, they had Killzone die in terms of not releasing any new titles. So they don't have that platform. They don't have a first-person shooter. Now, what they have done is they've since tied themselves in terms of marketing deals with the likes of Call of Duty and Destiny to really sort of push that, to try fill that gap. And whether there's some unwritten agreement with the likes of Call of Duty for them to not push a first-person shooter because it doesn't want to chew into what their marketing deal is, that's yet to be seen.
Yeah,
but it's certainly possible, I guess. But so, what about you? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm very much the same. I don't think it's going anywhere. It makes more sense for them to, because it's a redirect as opposed to a loss of the domain, that they're working on something and they don't want someone stumbling across it by accident. Because,
like, I'm sure there is a small community of people that are really into like the Killzone Shadowfall back ends in terms of like the stats and the clans and all that sort of stuff, and they'll probably go across the site a lot.
Yeah,
but like it's just maybe not enough. And like if they have greater plans, they're gonna need to scrap it and mend it and bend it. That's fine. Next up, Returnal. The Finnish developer Housemarque has put out its latest Housecast dev diary. Two members of the team discuss Returnal, and we get some glimpses at brand new gameplay footage as well. Game director Harry Kruger, great name, discusses bringing Housemarque's signature gameplay from 2D to the top-down perspective, into a third-person view, which is awesome. Because remember when we first saw it, I'm like, they're doing dual stick shooting in third person. This is brilliant, and no one mentioned it for some reason. I thought I was going insane, but I'm so happy to get confirmation here. Mentioning the challenges of adding verticality and having threats coming from multiple angles when it comes to controls. Kruger speaks of the desire to have responsive, tight, and intuitive gameplay. He also reiterates how the game will use the adaptive triggers on the DualSense controller. The team is using L2 to give you the two functions instead of just one, squeezing the trigger halfway while aimed down sights, which makes me insane, and pressing it fully will switch weapons to its alternative fire mode. It's designed to be intuitive and seamless, he says, reducing the amount of inputs a player will have to remember. If you prefer a more traditional button layout, the game has fully customizable controls also.
This game looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm real hard on it, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. I like the fact that obviously being a exclusive, they're pushing that DualSense support. I don't know how I feel about half presses on my triggers to be ADS or alternate fire.
I do want it'd probably be a hard push.
Yeah, I would hope it's a hard push.
Yeah, like it's like hitting a wall and then you got to push through the wall.
Yeah, but other than that, the game looks fantastic. I watched the gameplay footage. It looks real good.
It does. It looks sweet. I'm a couple of things have me worried. Mostly because this is the first time that Housemarque ever done a narrative. Like they literally have story writers and stuff, which they've never done before. So I'm worried at how that's going to go.
Yep.
And because from what they've seen is of Returnal is kind of like a Groundhog Day sort of aesthetic.
Yeah. So
you're reliving the same shit, and that's been done to,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's been done to death.
Yeah.
So I do wonder how they're going to bring something new to it, but I'd like to see it. Like this is me going, but I'm super down for it. And the other thing as well, this is pretty cool, and this is essentially PlayStation's big release for the first quarter, and that's their plan. I think we'll get because this kind of falls into kind of our predictions a bit later, whether we do them this week or maybe next week because we're going long. But I think this is a good sign. This is a good sign that maybe they'll make the decision that they should have done at the start of, years ago and maybe pick them up.
Yeah, Sony definitely need to pick someone up.
Yeah.
I mean, Bluepoint's another...
That's my other one, yeah.
Bluepoint's the other one that would be a great pickup. But, Housemarque have made fantastic games. And I really do look forward to seeing how their more traditional 2D twin stick shooting does translate to a 3D space. Yeah.
I think the difficulty this game will face, and I didn't realize this because because of the nature of what we do, I don't always look at prices of games. But apparently it's essentially going to be like a full price game. But it's like, I think there'll be some hesitation for a lot of people that have known Housemarque for their sort of indie cred. But even then, a lot of people were like, well, it's indie cred, but they're expensive indies.
Yeah.
So even for the likes of Matterfall and, what's the other one they did? There was two towards later, Matterfall and...
It's like coming to me,
whatever, around about there, right? Like they were like 40 something bucks.
Yeah.
And I remember for most people, that's a lot for an independent game. It's going to kill me that I can't think of it. But yeah, I think the idea would be it may be a bit of an ask.
Yeah. But
I think if they can incentivize enough, and they're clearly giving out Next Machina. Thank you. Next Machina. Yeah, I think there's enough information out there for those that wish to seek it.
Yeah,
that may help make that purchasing decision a little bit better. Yeah. I'm gonna play the fuck out of it though, so I don't care.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen. Another game that I was pretty keen for was Dying Light 2. So recently, Paul Salinger has left the developer after 22 years. He's credited with a writing position on both the original Dying Light and its upcoming sequel. His past work has also included credits on Dead Island and 3 Call of Juarez entries.
Oh my god, Call of Juarez!
On his LinkedIn page, Salinger said, quote, "After over 22 years, I've decided to end my cooperation with Techland. I want to express my gratitude to the company that has allowed me to develop and fulfill myself for half of my life. Techland, I will always be rooting for you, as well as the great people I have met. Thanks to you. I wish you that Dying Light 2 and subsequent projects will become world hits. Goodbye and good luck." So where does this leave the game that was due to release last year on PlayStation 4?
Wait, 2020 or 2019?
2020. It was due out early 2020.
That's right. And then delayed indefinitely.
Yeah, and then delayed indefinitely. So the firm has also commented on rumors regarding the art director position, confirming there have been no changes to this role. Quote, "The position of the art director is not threatened and has been held by Eric Cochonneau since November 2019.
Cochonneau. Cochonneau?
My apologies if you're listening.
Eric Koch dog.
A spokesperson has said, quote, "Eric has been taking care of every aspect of the upcoming production ever since, and the team under his leadership is doing their best to offer players the best game possible," end quote. Techland promises that it, quote, "will be sharing exciting news about the project in the near future."
Yeah, so this one's way more into you than me. So are you worried by this?
A little bit. Obviously the game was supposed to come out last year, got delayed indefinitely. having their lead writer that worked on both Dying Light and Dying Light 2 is a little worrying. From what they've been saying, though, he's left his mark on Dying Light 2. Whether that means the story has been finished, written, and they're just doing gameplay stuff, I don't know.
That would be my angle, because like there is a point where the writers kind of don't do anything.
Yeah,
and I think that maybe it's around about that part, because like I would presume that the indefinite delay may not have been a narrative thing; it may be a performance. And thing.
Like with his just the way he's acting around his departure, there doesn't seem to be any animosity. So I would imagine that maybe he has wrapped up his story writing for them, and he's like, well, maybe this is a good time to get out. I've finished this project before the next one hits us. I can dip.
Yeah, and plus 22 years. I've not done anything for 22 years. I think I've played PlayStation for 22 years. But like, I've not been at a company. Like, I'm only fucking 31. Like, what have I done since I was like
Well, that's
10?
what I mean. Like, in his statement, he's been there for half of his life.
Yeah. And like, I think we're seeing that. Like, I think I said this at the back end of last year. 2020 will have put it's allowed a lot of people to change their perspective.
Yeah,
look at their life, look at how what they're doing and how they're doing it, and be open to change. Because the world changed and it will continue to change. So I think a lot of people that are like, well, I want to do something else. Like, this year has allowed me to reconsider something, and I think that's the same thing. Like, after 22 years, you're like, yeah, I want to do something else. And then like 1 year of allowing for a lot of self-reflection could put you in that space. It's pretty cool. Next up, the big game for coming out in January is Hitman. And this upcoming title is collating all three titles, combining the content into its predecessor with the threequel. So it's like all three in one pack?
Yeah, so I believe... I don't know if it's... I should have looked at this first. I know that if you own 1 and 2, you can play all three. Like, similar to with Hitman 2, it imported all of the stuff from 1. And obviously you got to play it in the upgraded engine. So this will be the same thing if you own him once you get Hitman 3. I'm pretty sure it's if you own the titles. I think sense. There might be an edition where you get all of them. I don't know. I should have really checked that before.
That's right, because it's just more of the specifics of the wording there. To install all content of Hitman 2, it'll sit around 125 gigs on your PS4.
So this was for the previous title. So Hitman 2 sits at around 125 gig.
Yep. So the IO Interactive have done some optimization wizardry. You're probably using that sweet new The Ghost of Tsushima things. And writing on Reset Era, a dev has revealed that all three titles will now sit at 100 gig.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So 25 gig less than what just 2 did. They've now compressed everything down. And
clarification in the chat, Buddy Watson says buy 2, own 1.
Yeah.
Makes sense. One thing, quote, one thing I think all of you will be happy to hear is that we have managed to get the size of the game down significantly. User A Pathfinder explained. All three games with all content will take up around 100 gig, as we said. The visuals from the older levels have also been updated with screen space reflections and various other optimizations. I have also brought forward the VR support for the PSVR headset. The only catch, you have to play the PS4 version of the title, not the PS5 build. In a video from Game Informer, the new game levels will feature shortcuts you can only unlock from one direction, meaning you'll need to explore the open areas to find them. Once you've opened up the shortcut, it will remain unlocked for future playthroughs, giving you new opportunities for your murderous missions. I want to play it.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen.
I don't know.
In the video, they also mentioned that one of your main tools this time around will be a camera to take photos of stuff, so you can use it to scope out things that can be disabled or tampered with. But they also gave the example of there was essentially this guy blocking a pathway, and he's like, I want you to do something for me first, and then I'll let you through. And it was basically, go kill this guy, and you take a photo of the dead body once you had done the deed, and you show the guy the picture, and he's like, all right, cool, you've done you scratched my back, I'll scratch yours, and he'll let you through.
Yeah.
And then obviously the VR gameplay looks the same as it did before. You know, they show you tapping on people's shoulders. They show you slamming people's head in pianos, and it looks pretty brutal. I'm pretty keen.
It's gonna be sweet. It's very funny. I remember when VR was a thing. When I got hands on for the first time at like EB Expo 2015 or something crazy. 2016, somewhere around there. And I remember speaking to them. I'm like, what does this mean for ratings?
Yeah, of course.
And like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, one of the biggest concerns about video games previously was the fact that people were like, oh, you're just shooting people. You're living out a fantasy. And then at the point...
And there's a big difference between push square to slam and literally slam.
Yeah. And like, it was one of those things, like, because I was playing the PSVR demo, the VR Worlds demo. I didn't know that at the time, was the London heist. And I was like, I just shot like 11 dudes. Personally. Like, how is this going to reflect? And they're like, we have no idea, and we're hoping no one notices. And because the Australian Classification Board always have a booth at PAX for some reason. So I remember when I went to PAX later in that year, I went and spoke to them about it. I'm like, what? They're like, we haven't even considered that yet. So like, and then with a straight assassination game in VR, like, I'm not mad. That sounds fun as fuck, but it's real, like, questionable if you want to look at it that way. Yeah. I don't. I'm excited for it. I haven't played 1 or 2, mostly because I think they came at bad times for me.
I've played 2. It's absolutely fantastic.
Is 1 episodic?
Yes.
It's probably what turned me off. Because I think at the time it was like, I don't want to play this and then play it later.
Episodic, but I think each location was its own quote-unquote episode.
So I think now that I could play it in one full stretch,
yeah.
But I think by the time they released them all, I either didn't care or was distracted by something else. And I think now's a good time. It's kind of dead right now. So I'm open to playing something, and I think Hitman could be it.
Fun fact, I'm still waiting for my
dongaroo. Man, I haven't got my dongaroo either. I have got confirmation that
they exist.
They do exist, and someone in the New South of Wales has one. Not here in the VIX.
Well, according to Sony, mine was due to arrive at the start of December.
As was mine. Maybe slightly earlier because I did mine like 2 weeks before you. But it'll come.
I hope so.
It'll arrive.
I'm really keen to actually play some.
There
you go. Kumquat got his on Friday.
Goddamn Kumquat. Which means ours is hopefully coming this week.
Hopefully.
Kumquat coming through with the deets. Hiding there and lingering in the background. Busting out secret dongaroos. Curious on how it works. Very cool. Is this you or me?
This is you.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
You, because I just read Hitman.
True. Delays. Square Enix's upcoming sci-fi looter shooter Outriders has been delayed. The game, which features otherworldly weaponry and superhuman abilities on an alien world, was initially slated for 2nd of February. It has now been pushed back to April 1st. No joke. The update... The update does bring some good news, however. On the 25th of February, a free demo will be made available, allowing you to give the game a try and fill the time in until its delayed date. You'll be able to play the game's opening hours with each of the 4 character classes in either single player or in online co-op. If you do check out the demo, your progress will carry over to the full game in April if you choose to buy it.
So I was listening to another podcast today. Went for my daily walk. And they were discussing whether this is a good or a bad thing.
From what I've heard, from all the people that I've heard talk about it after they went hands-on with this game, they're all really excited for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because like the discussion piece was, this either shows incredible confidence, as in like, we are so confident that you'll like it, we'll give you a free demo, and then you'll want to buy it.
Yeah.
Or, we are so worried that this will do bad, please play it for free, and then maybe you'll buy it.
So the Avengers route.
Yeah, the Avengers route. That's the discussion. I'm cynically minded as I am. I see it being the bad. Because Square Enix have had a really shit time lately.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, please buy it.
It does look good. I'm pretty interested in it.
Yeah, I'm interested. Here we go. Quick bits! For those that don't know, the quick bits are all the news that we can narrow down to like a sentence that have happened. Because like, once again, being 3 weeks off, this is the first episode for 2021, we've missed a whole bunch. We're just going to steamroll them. Persona 5 Royal was the highest rated title of 2020 with a Metacritic of 95. So just the best PS4 game, the best game rated of last year. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War mid-season update hits the 14th of January, with a new map and mode. Fall Guys has gone to hell in their latest Doom crossover. So
I think that actually goes live next week, so they're going to hell.
Yeah, so they've got like the Doom Slayer and I believe the Marauder.
Yep.
which is pretty cool. Dreams has improved its Dream Surfing menu with more curated playlists. However, no one's fucking playing it. I heard that there...
Which is a real shame because it's really cool.
Yeah, I saw that there was like a piece that I think it may have been Kotaku wrote about it, and they're like, no one's playing it. Unless you're a creator, no one's playing it. Yeah. And they reached out to Media Molecule, they reached out to Sony, and they're like, we're not talking to you. So, if anything, yeah, no one's playing it. Cyberpunk 2077, despite being an asshole, sells 13 million units, making back its development and marketing investment completely.
Good for them.
Crazy.
To be fair, they had 8 million in pre-orders alone.
Yeah, stupid. Slay the Spire is getting a board game adaptation. You came for that one?
Yep.
Oh, is there minis? Can I play minis?
I don't think there's minis.
Boo!
It's a card game.
Then it can suck my bum. I want minis. Immortal Fenyx Rising allegedly has its first DLC listed for the 21st of January. It's called The One God or something.
The New God.
Yeah, The New God, with no confirmation from Ubi. Please, gimme. Sony has now confirmed its production of the PlayStation. Has confirmed its production of the PS4 systems for the Japanese market, has ceased. Only selling the 500 gig Slim. Rough.
Yeah, considering there's no PS5s out in the wild of them.
Yeah. Well, that's I think, but
at least for us.
See, I think that reason's smart. It's also super weird though. So I think they're like, well, if we scrap all the variants that we have, we can focus production solely on PS5.
Yep.
Because right now, in theory, the demand is staggeringly high for PS5.
Then there's also the, if your choice is a 500 gig Slim versus a PS5, there's no middle ground of going, well, I'm not quite ready to make the full jump, but a PS4 Pro sounds nice. It's either base model or next gen.
So it incentivizes you buying a PS5, and like with the PS4 Pro being a half step, when you now have the full step, remove the middle step. And plus, from all accounts, the Pro was near impossible to buy half the time anyway.
Yeah.
Which means their production count was already really low. And I think they knew that it was sort of not like it was only the enthusiasts that would jump on it. Like you didn't.
I didn't.
I did. I love my PS4 Pro. It's awesome. It's now my son's PS4 Pro. What kind of 4-year-old has a fucking PS4 Pro? God damn it. Anyway, that is all that done and dusted. Let's get into our main discussion for the show. What we're planning, like what the big plan was, and that is looking at 2021.
We forewent our calendar this year after last
I haven't done the calendar yet. It's still over there. I did consider doing it again, but I'll wait and see. There's too many things that are variables.
Now, granted, we did know dates for a lot more games last year than we do this year.
Yeah.
A lot of games have been given a
window
of
2021
of the entire year, as opposed to last year. We did have almost very close to set dates at the start of the year of when things were coming out, which allowed us to do the calendar. And then obviously Mother Nature decided to just inconvenience us really badly.
Yeah.
We ripped our calendar up at the end of last year.
That was awesome.
Threw it up in the air and then realized that we probably could have reused it.
Well, there's still some papers left. We only ripped the papers that we used. So I can still come back to it. No fear. All right. Let's kick things off. We'll do this with our 2021 video game draft. So here is where we each pick 8 games to be our representative. Think of it like fantasy football, but with games. The games themselves have been selected by the community. So over on our Facebook group, I gave a list of games. People have added their own games, and that's the list that we are picking from. So we can't pick obscure things that we know will probably do okay. We're relying solely on the draft list that we have been given. As I said, 8 picks each. Neither you or I could have the same pick. We must have separate picks. That's how it's going to go. All right. Now, what we'll also do as well, because one of the things we want to talk about is the most anticipated games for this year. I think a lot of them will hit this list, so we'll discuss the list as we go, and then after that, we'll chuck in some 2021 predictions to see how we go. Now, as I won last year, I will let you go first.
Okay.
Because I don't need champions advantage. All right, so this is the list that we were given. So there are 16 choices that we can pick, but we have been given 20. And they include Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, tentative title, Hitman 3, Gotham Knights, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Far Cry 6, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil Village, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so that's the remaster, Returnal, Deathloop, The Prince of Persia Remake, It Takes Two, Dark Pictures House of Ashes, Near Replicant, Hood Outlaws and Legends, Riders Republic, Destruction All-Stars, 12 Minutes, and Persona 5 Strikers. What are you taking first?
I'm going to take Hitman 3, please.
Hitman 3. Alrighty, I'm going to put that in the blue. Why Hitman 3?
I think with the fact that it's bundled in with the previous games or with updated graphics, I'm getting, which could be my detriment, 3 for the price of 1.
And you think that is...
I also think, from memory, the last 2 games have rated fairly well.
Yep.
It's a known quantity. I think it'll do well.
Okay.
I'm really keen to see what they do with it.
I'm going to take it easy. I'm going Horizon Zero Dawn. Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn. Forbidden West. Now, the reason I'm picking Horizon Zero Dawn for Forbidden West is fucking easy. The game is going to be fantastic. People loved Horizon Zero Dawn. And I think the idea of more of that is cool. It's PS5, but it is also cross-gen. So I think for that reason, a lot of people will love it.
We're going to take the average.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We should mention
for the two.
The results come from Metacritic. So the idea, we just take the score at time of release, and then I check again at the end of the year, and that score is what we tally up. Now with PS5 and PS4, that's a good idea. What do we do?
Do you take them both and just average them?
Let's leave it up to the who's here in the Twitch chat right now. What should we do if we have a PS5 and a PS4 version? Do we tally the both? Do we just take the PS5 version? What do you reckon? Let me know. So I think it's a given. Similar to what you said, and we've said it. We've used that's saying a lot in this episode. Known quantity. We will know what Horizon Zero Dawn is. They loved it. They're going to want more of it. It's super easy pick. The only thing about it is whether it comes this year or not. My original prediction was that it would come out in the first half of this year. However, it looks as if it's going to be the back end of this year. In the chat, we've got Kumquat and Buddy Watson saying PS5, so we'll go with the PS5. So yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it's a super easy pick. Gone with that. What do you got?
Far Cry 6.
Oh, you fuck. Yep.
Again, known quantity. Far Cry 5 was absolutely fantastic. Their games can sometimes be hit and miss depending on what messaging they choose to portray in their advertising. But again, because these scores are based off Metacritic, I think it can pull through. If it tells its story correctly, it's also going back to a known villain.
Oh, well, presumably
with some of the stuff that we've seen. I think this could be a good one.
See, I agree with you there. I think that's probably a good pick for those reasons. And having, I think Esposito is his surname, Gus from Breaking Bad. At least the acting chops are going to be pretty solid from the villain perspective. There's a lot there, and that was why I swore at you, because I want it on my list. Great pick. Next up is an easy. I've gone 2 easy ones. What do you think it's going to be?
I honestly thought your first pick was going to be God of War.
No, I'll get to that.
But that game's
not. Number 2 is Resident Evil Village.
Nice.
Now, reason being, Capcom have seen nothing but brilliance in Resident Evil for the last couple of years.
Capcom have seen nothing but brilliance in everything they've done.
They've had such a good stretch that I have complete faith that Village will be fucking awesome. 7, awesome. 2, remake, awesome. 3, pretty good. Devil May Cry, brilliant. Resident Evil Village, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be awesome. It's just for PS5, so I think it's gonna have a lot of that next gen oomph to it. And I think that itself may come with some biases in terms of it's fucking beautiful. It's on PS5, and because we're based on the numeric value of Metacritic, fucking biases rule in our favor here.
Yeah,
I think Resident Evil Village is gonna be a complete standout pick. What do you got?
I'll take Returnal, please.
Oh, you bum.
Yeah. I gushed about this earlier in the news. I think that Housemarque have something to prove with this title, and I think it'll show.
I agree with you. I think there's a lot there. Yeah, but I think once again, if we're going,
it's a dark horse because it's their first time in this space, but I trust them.
I think you're spot on. I think with the going completely on a numerical value is I think this will have a lot of that. I think it'll be divided. I think critics will love it, but I think users may not.
Yeah,
but
I've completely changed the way I pick these games from last year.
So, I want to hear your thoughts at the end. I'm going to take another easy one because you're just dodging them. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So I'm just going easy. It's a smart way to do it. Rift Apart. Ratchet and Clank, also easy pick. I said I've gone for 3 straight easy picks right now. Reason being, Rift Apart's going to be dope. It's PS5 only once again. It's going to showcase a lot of what the PS5 can do on paper. So I think that will give it a lot of incentive points. People like, it really showed off the SSD. Load times are fucking amazing. Yep. And Ratchet and Clank Origi on back in 2016 was fantastic. It was a game that no one expected to be brilliant. So I think with that sort of sweet rose tinted glasses, this game will do incredibly well from a review perspective, but I'm also pretty confident that Insomniac will do a great job with it as well. Let me just cross out that one over there. What do you got next?
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Tell me about it.
This is that little, what I'm presuming is going to be the indie darling of the year.
Faris,
yeah. Was announced at Game Awards. It's that game that looks like you not looks like you basically play with I think it's about a man and his wife. And it's
they have marriage problems.
Yeah, they have marital
toys
problems
or something.
and you become I think it's like marionette dolls or something like that, or puppets, and you play through your problems together.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I'm not going to play with my wife.
No, you and I will play together. Like, my wife will be the worst. Like I imagine because like her and she doesn't play games that all often, and like I'm sure I'll just fucking yell at her. That's the reason I've not played Overcooked with her, because I know that we'll both get very frustrated at each other and we'll probably die. Yeah. Number 4 for me is Deathloop.
Ooh, interesting.
So I think Deathloop, it looks to be something really cool. Arcane has a lot of sort of respect as well. People loved Dishonored, especially in Dishonored 2. Didn't sell a whole lot, didn't sell very well, but it still was there's a lot of love behind it. And I think they've done really, really good here at showcasing the game and what the game loop is, pun intended, and showing like this cool sort of game. I think the art style alone is a lot to bring people in, it to be nice and enticing. I think there's a lot of potential in Deathloop to do really, really well. So that is my pick number 4.
I will take Persona 5 Strikers, please.
Do I have to ask why? What is Persona 5 Strikers?
So Persona 5 Strikers is your Dynasty Warriors style gameplay with the Persona 5 universe. So think like Hyrule Warriors. Think, what's the other game that they did that's basically
Hyrule Warriors 2? Dynasty Warriors.
I think Fire Emblem did one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that, but they've apparently managed to keep the overall feel of what the Persona combat system is like in this game. Obviously, there's a lot of love for the characters. Persona 5 was the highest rated game of last year. I think it.
Also, thank you, Ativa26 for the follow.
I think it might do well.
Okay, I think the collective boner that everyone has for Persona is probably going to make it do really, really well.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're getting the gross end of this now.
How many have we picked now?
About 5
I
each.
picked 5. You picked 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gotham Knights.
Have fun with that.
Now, so we haven't had a Batman game in a very long while, with obviously Arkham City being the big one. This is WB Montreal's sort of follow-up to Arkham Origins, the last one that they really did into the Batman space. It's a Batman game without Batman. Which is I don't know why it's picked it now, because that seems like a really bad decision. However, with Rocksteady's game not for the foreseeable future, I think there will be a little bit interesting, a little bit cool stuff here. And the idea of playing as the Bat family, I think, is cool. Sort of this,
because is this the one that's the Avengers style?
I think it's more of a shared narrative. Okay. Maybe not quite like that's. Once again, it could completely change. Maybe once they saw how the Avengers did so poorly, they're like, we're not going to do any of this.
Yeah.
And hopefully they've changed whatever it is to become not the Avengers. It's probably my first risky pick.
Yep.
But I think it will at least do fine.
I will take Nier Replicant for my 6th.
Why Nier Replicant?
After the strong release of Nier Automata last year or the year before, going back to its origin, I feel like this could...
Is this a remake of the original?
It was a remake of the original that never came out in the West.
Okay.
Because the West got a version that wasn't that. The West got a version of Nier that wasn't what anywhere else got. We got a weird version, which was good, but this is the remake of the original that the West didn't see.
Yeah, and Nier as a franchise has that same level of cultish following, especially with Automata doing really, really well and surprising a lot of people. I think there'll be a lot of incentive for people to go check it out. Oh, sons of bitches. This is gonna be a bold one. Hogwarts Legacy.
You bastard. That's gonna be my next pick.
Now, this is a tough one.
We still know nothing about it.
We know nothing about it.
You should have I did it last night for funsies. I dove into the Hogwarts Legacy Reddit.
Yeah.
People have made like full skill trees of what they want out of this game, and I think they're going to be massively disappointed.
Which is that's why it's a bold. Like I think Harry Potter as a franchise is so big, and like the expectation around it will be so substantial that I'm worried that will be to its detriment, because people have wanted a Harry Potter themed RPG for the longest time, so it's going to be through the roof. On top of that, it's made by Avalanche, who previously were known for Disney Infinity, so they've never really done a big space thing like that. They did Mad Max, and Mad Max was really well-ish received, just came out at a really shitty time. I think it came out the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5, so no one was going to play it. My other concern is more the external concern about J.K. Rowling and sort of the discussion around her being a garbage person. I think that will in fact hinder this, with a lot of the social, so a lot of the social commentary around that, and a lot of the lefter leaning outlets. I think it may get a bump down because of that.
Okay.
So that's why I believe it's a risky choice.
If they pull it off, though.
But if it's good, I think it might be really good.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of external factors that will actually hinder this game doing well.
Number 7. I'm going to take Outlaw.
So Hood Outlaws?
Hood Outlaws.
What's that?
It is the... It's a game similar to that of like Rainbow Six Siege, but instead of one team versus the other in the classical sense, it's both teams are racing to steal a a shared object with some tomfoolery.
Yeah, so this was showcased at the State of Play at the back end of last year that I believe that they announced the PS5 on.
Yeah.
And the idea is, so you are two teams running by the side.
Essentially the same heist. You're trying to steal the same object, but you've got to like screw over the other team and get it for yourself.
Yeah, so it's not you versus the other team, it's both teams versus the world, but you can fuck with each other. And the idea is you get to the end to that collective goal. So the reason I says like, what's that? Is I'm trying to get you to talk. I'm getting the conversation. I know the answer is.
I'm pretty keen for it. I've been keen for it since I saw it. I like that. It's not asynchronous. What's the word I'm looking for?
Asymmetrical?
Yeah, it's kind of not though. It's interesting to pit two teams against in the same objective as opposed to just directly against one another.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of teamwork multiplayer.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is the same thing. Like you have to work as a team to
I
get
think
to
this
that
is
point.
also
if
one
you
of-
don't, you're fucked.
I think this is also a smaller title. I think it's also a cheaper title.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll skew in its favor too.
I think that might. But I think with it being so reliant on multi,
It could be.
it could be a toughie. It could be tough. Let me cross that one off the list. I'm going to go with Dark Pictures. Now,
House of Ashes.
House of Ashes. So this is the third in the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yep.
It's scheduled to come out at the back end of so about August-ish of this year. Oh, we should also mention if the game happens to be delayed or doesn't come out in 2021, it is marked as a 0 and you get nothing. And you got done with Vampire the Masquerade.
I got done with Vampire the Masquerade.
And I got done with Little Nightmares.
And then Cyberpunk did me dirty.
Cyberpunk just bummed you. I think this will do fine.
Yep.
So this is probably my fine game. Like we're at the back end of our picks now. We're just looking for games that score points.
Yep.
So I think it'll probably do like 70 roundabout there. Like Man of Medan was all right, but A Little Hope was stacks better.
Little Hope was amazing in comparison to
Yeah.
what Man of Medan was. I think Man of Medan took too long to find its legs and get into it, whereas they kind of took off running with Little Hope.
And I think having now 2 under their belt, I think that system is going to be a little bit easier, be a bit quicker, a bit snappier. And seeing when you go back and watch the original trailer for A Little Hope, and you see what this game become, you can see that they were willing to change and adapt and completely re-alter towards to moving into the next game. So I think here is a potential for them to do better. Like the other 2 games have reviewed fine, and this could be that moment to step up. Last pick.
I will take the Mass Effect
trilogy
remaster. Now, everyone knows what this is. This is BioWare's RPG. I hope that they really do it justice after Andromeda.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 games were great. And if they do this properly, they can hopefully be great again.
So
this is my one pick that is purely, I think it's going to pull the numbers if they don't screw it up.
yeah, because we know it's not BioWare team because they're working on Dragon Age 4, so they're not going to be pulled away to do a port job or a remaster. So I think that's the hurdle. There is a lot of risk there in terms of like what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like, who's going to do it? Because if it's anything like Andromeda, they're fucked.
Yeah.
All right, let's just cross that bad boy out. So this is what so now that I'm on my 8th pick, let's run through what we've got left. We've got God of War Ragnarok, we've got Prince of Persia Remake, got Riders Republic, Destruction All Stars, and 12 Minutes. Not a whole lot to choose from.
No.
I'm debating not picking God of War Ragnarok because I'm reasonably confident that it's not coming out.
I'm positive it's not coming out this year, which is why it's not on my list.
Yeah.
I was really hoping it was going to be your number 1 pick because I'm pretty sure it's not coming out this year.
I want it so bad, but I know that it is not coming.
I'm going to laugh if neither of us put it on our list and it comes out this year.
Yeah. And then Prince of Persia Remake looks bumhole.
Yep.
I'm expecting it to be bumhole.
Mm-hmm.
It might review fine, but we're looking at 60s, I think, for that one. Riders Republic, it's essentially Steep 2, and Steep was not well received. Destruction All Stars is a free game coming to PS Plus, and they were that confident they made it free. So I think that's bad.
Delayed it and made it free.
And I think being free, people will judge it harsher. Or be not, the kind of it'll be treated a bit poorly because of it. And I do not know what 12 Minutes is. That was put on the list by Mr. Buddy Watson. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take a punt.
You put God of War on?
I'm gonna put God of War on there because best case scenario.
How's that? God of War last picked in a draft of 16 games.
If God of War happens to come out this year, I'm stoked because it will probably be brilliant.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, I'm down a game. But I think looking at my picks and the easy picks that I had at the start, I think I am going to have an advantage of you in some ways. I think I'm going to have a couple of games that are going to review quite highly, but I think you might have a better average than me. All right. Hey, Drew's in the chat. Hey,
There was
Drew.
only, from memory, there was 2 points in it last year, and that was purely because Cyberpunk.
Let's have a look back. So if we look back at our results from this year, I ended on 554 total, so averaging 69.25.
Yep.
Where you ended up on 536 with an average of 67. Yep. So you're pretty spot on there. Like the average, you work better on the average. So we'll go through the list again, and then I want to hear about your change of strategy for this year. So these are the picks are as follows. So I picked Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West, Resident Evil Village, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Deathloop, Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, Dark... We didn't even know that's coming this year. I could be proper fucked. Dark Pictures House of Ashes, and the tentatively titled God of War Ragnarok. Max, yours are Hitman 3, Far Cry 6, Returnal, It Takes Two, Persona 5 Strikers, Nier Replicant, Hood Outlaws and Legends, and the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Buddy in the chat says 12 minutes was a safe one. Freest voice cast and premise. Fresh, maybe something. I don't know. What? Because you've made the bold claim that you've changed how you've picked this year.
So
what did you do?
last year, I picked games that I thought were going to do well.
Yeah.
And that, again, for the most part, I picked very well. Cyberpunk, obviously, was the
But
one that
no one expected
screwed the
that.
hammer for me. And obviously, you're right. No one expected that. This year, I've picked a lot more known quantities. I've picked a few unknown quantities, but I think that
Really, you really like that
I'm
saying.
kind of playing the average game here.
Yeah.
If I can knock out all my games at 70s, that's good. As opposed to these swings that I got last year, I think I got a few 50s. Then obviously Persona 5 with the 95. I think I'm playing the average game here.
Yeah, I think the average game is certainly smart because you swung for the fences. Last year, you went for what you presume are going to be big hitters.
Yeah.
And I played a bit of the average game last year. Now, I do think that you've spanned me a little bit.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think Horizon's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And a few of my earlier picks and a lot of the indie titles that I picked, I'm hoping are going to be big hitters.
Yeah. Once again, apart from the last couple of picks, which are always rough, and that's why we make the community pick them, because we intentionally want them to pick games that we just wouldn't think of. I think that's where we might get a bit kicker. But I am genuinely positive that Hogwarts Legacy is going to get shit on, and I think that's going to negatively affect it. So what we'll do now is we'll quickly run through what games that are expected to come out this year, what we think are big hitters. Now, obviously, we picked some big hitters in our list of games, what we think will do well. That's why we put them on there. But let's just run through them as well. So have a quick look ahead at 2021, and then we'll finish this bad boy up. Scott Pilgrim comes out on the 14th. No, but this has been in demand for forever.
It's got, as far as I'm aware, it's got multiple physical editions with reversible sleeves, and they're really pandering to the collector that wants this game.
Okay.
But it's the same game that was already out.
But it's been off stores for the longest time.
It has.
You literally don't have it. Do you think the FOMO of because we had it, then we didn't, then we have it again?
I think all the people who wanted it already bought it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Hitman 3, which we discussed before.
Yep.
We think it's going to be something cool. So that's pretty much everything of note in in January. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. Feb. Neo 2 Complete Edition. Oh, Neo 2 Collection, sorry. They're getting remastered for the PS5.
Yep.
And if you already own them, you get them again.
Yeah.
Sick. And apparently they're wanting it to push 120 frames and shit.
Yep.
Sick. I'm down for that. Little Nightmares 2, February 11th. Open to that. It's pretty cool. I did put it on my list last year of games I'm interested in. I think it's good. Once again, it had a good bit of cred coming into it. Pretty positive. Persona 5 Strikers, as you mentioned. Riders Republic.
and Destruction All Stars.
Destruction All Stars all coming out in February.
Another game that's actually coming out in early February is Werewolf the Apocalypse. So I'm kind of interested.
What is it?
For I saw a short clip of it. They're advertising it in the PlayStation Store already.
Oh,
looks cool.
Okay. All right, I'm going to take that. Harvest Moon One World coming to Switch. It's going to be bum because Harvest Moon games haven't been good for years. Story of Seasons, however, mint.
Oh, Prince of Persia comes out the day before Returnal.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yes, Prince of Persia Sands Time Remake, Returnal, It Takes Two, Disco Elysium is coming to PS4 and 5
so it's
in March.
it's the definitive edition with all its bonus content.
I will probably check it out because the reason I didn't pick it up because it was on PC. But maybe this will get me across the line. Have it come on console. April and May got mushed together because there's nothing. Let's see.
Outriders April 1st. We've got Nier Replicant April 23 and Hood Outlaws.
And then Deathloop as well.
In May.
So here are some that are expected to come out in Q1. So Read Only Memories, Kena Bridge of Spirits. I know
that looks really cool.
Friend of the show Padge is like hard on for it, so that's pretty cool. Then in the back end of the year, Back for Blood in June.
Left 4 Dead guys.
Yeah, so it's like straight up Left 4 Dead, but on everything. Disgaea will probably get some nerds excited. Scarlet Nexus, allegedly.
Yeah.
No?
Nah. It originally caught my interest, and then it's been slowly fading away as I've heard nothing about it.
Let's see, not much on the GTA 5 PS5 version.
Yeah, so we're supposed to get the GTA 5 PS5 version. We're supposed to get Witcher 3 PS5 version.
So all those sort of
apparently Cyberpunk's PS5 versions coming out this year as well.
So here are ones that just had targets of 2021, and some of the games I forgot about, like the Lord of the Rings Golem.
Yeah, that. I hope it comes out this year. I think it'll be really cool.
What did you hear about Vampire the Masquerade?
That's never coming out.
Yeah.
They lost producers, writers, directors. They lost a bunch of people. It sounded like they were starting again at one point.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think that game's ever coming.
Rough.
Ghostwire
Tokyo, which surprisingly didn't make any of our lists because no one voted for it. Was it Tango Gameworks?
I think it looks cool.
Of Evil Within. I think it doesn't look interesting at all, but that's just me personally. It wouldn't have made my list even if it was there. Got Gotham Knights, Hello Neighbor 2, The Witcher 3 version as you mentioned, Far Cry 6, the Rainbow Six Quarantine that's been delayed like 5 times.
Oddworld Soulstorm.
Yeah.
Can speak.
Oh yeah, the Oddworld. That one looks pretty dope. And then it's just a bunch of fucking randos. It's a weird time because, like, although we're in 2021 now, it's like no one is committed because of the whole global bastard. And, I think the ripple effects of it are starting to push through into everything. And I think that's probably going to be a big hurdle into this year. Anyway, let us, you just enjoyed this extra long episode 1 of 2021. Thank you everyone for joining us. Let us know what you think will be the big hitters coming out this year. What do you think of our draft picks? Have we made some horrendous mistakes? Let us know in the comments below or the social medias. We never do this enough, but if you happen to stick around this whole time, you can also follow us on Twitter as well. I'm at HaggardMC. Max is at
BPossess101.
Yep. You can always come harass us specifically. It does appear in our names thing on the bottom of the screen, but we never do it for audio versions. But come check us out. We're always on the Twitters yelling about things. It's good fun. But yeah, good to have you back, Max. It feels good to be back in the studio.
Yeah, it does.
So so you've been doing this for a straight year now.
Yeah.
Like officially straight year. Because you fill it up for late 2018 for Josh from like October-ish onwards. But yeah, straight up year. So welcome to year 2.
Year 2.
Ooh.
How exciting.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Hopefully it's better
year
than
6.
what year 1 was. You know, we missed out on all the fun stuff last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
no packs, no other stuff.
Just PAX is a big bummer.
Yeah, PAX was obviously a big bummer. It would have been nice to go and see it from the other side. But I look forward to this year.
Excuse me, but you did have a pretty good run for your first year.
I mean, we had launch year for new consoles. Good times.
It's good times. And as I said, because I did drop the a little like, you know, plans for 2021 video at the start of the year that says we ain't changing shit. And that's 100% true. Like, we are going to continue to do what we do already, because we think it works, and we can't add more to our plates. We both have young families. We both work full time. Like, we can't do a whole lot more. We'll do more as we can, but we ain't going to sit here and, you know, kind of funny it and promise you a bunch of shit and that we either A, never deliver on, or B, you have to pay for it. Fuck that. So we're just going to go with what we know and do what we do. And if you enjoy it, sweet. And if you don't, I'm sorry. It's more of the same. But no, woo. No, but as I said in the video, we have seen a good growth.
If it ain't broke.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, be too lazy to fix it. Send us home, Max.
Anyway, this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcast and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on YouTube. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, please check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, Twitter. All of our links are in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversations happen, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where we record this show live. Normally we record on a Saturday. For January, it's Sundays because everyone's getting fucking married and doing shit this month.
Yeah, it turns out like the last weekend of January, I'm busy on Saturday too. So it's going to be Sunday all the way through January.
All January. So if you like Sundays, bam! Makes a bit harder for me to like get all edited in time, but what are you going to do? But yeah, no, it's great. So come join us, become part of the show, join the chat, get involved, just like Quamquat did, just like Buddy Watson did, just like Drew, Dave Chataway, and a bunch of my man Shaky friends. They came to the party as well. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you listen to us on those podcast services, give it a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching on the YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support the show financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other sort of shit with our logos on it, like Max has now. Max has his own shirt. Woo! His own For the Players shirt. Took me only a year, but he's got one. Yeah, it took a year and a global pandemic for me to buy you a shirt.
What are you going to do?
But no, and as I mentioned at the start of the show, I'm hoping to sort of, you know, as myself and already an ambassador of the Manshake, I'm hoping to bring that into the show and like hopefully get you guys some sort of discount code or something to help do that. So if you too want to jump on a weight loss journey like I did last year, and as I said, I lost 30 kilos. If you want to jump on it with Max, who's kicking it off for the, you know, for like the real hard this year, we'd love for you to do that, because just because we play games, just because we're dudes, doesn't mean we have to live in that stereotype that video games have. We can be big, we can be better, we can be fucking thin, we can be hot, we can be sexy.
I mean, to be fair, I'm hot right now.
Yeah.
This hot box.
And we can also do Lady Shake as well. And come quite just started the Lady Shake duty or recommendations and success. Thank you very much. And we'll also do it for Lady Shake as well, of course. Yeah. I can't promote the Lady Shake as I am a man, but that's fantastic. That's good news, and that's what we hope. So just like Kumquat, just like Max, just like me, a bunch of other people I know that listen to the show, you too can get a jump on that journey with us. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper,
and that was For the Players. I'm fucking so sweaty.
This room is like a hot box.